Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of Recipe for Adventure. I'm Freebie Wits, and this is my good friend and other co-host, Sai, who will say hello now.
Hello, now.
You technically achieved what I wanted you to achieve, and when I said it that way, I was like thinking, he's gonna be literal about it, isn't he? Just like a split second after I said that, and it left my mouth. And you did not disappoint.
I was going to play ball and just say hello, but you said hello now, so I'm like, well, swivel down that path.
Understand, the one time I could have gotten you to just say hello.
Yeah, I was planning to play ball today. I was feeling in a good mood. I was going to play ball, and then you just teed me up, and I just took a swing for it.
Son of a gun. Anyways, so as always, we're going to start this off with a question. My question is, has Dungeons and Dragons, or any tabletop role-playing game, conferred upon you a real-life skill?
Has it conferred upon me a real life skill?
Yeah, or at least led to you getting a real-life skill.
That's difficult to say because, ironically, I think it's technically the other way around,
Oh?
where a lot of the skills I've picked up in real life have helped me become the dungeon master that I am.
Okay.
Because
Yep.
I've done acting,
Mm-hmm.
so I've already had practice in like doing voices.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've always been good with maths and problem solving, so those are always skills I've had.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like interacting with people, I've always been like somewhat like the weird introverted but friendly sort.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, any particular skill? Like, I suppose if there's any one skill I technically got, it is teaching.
Oh.
Because introducing new people to new systems means I need to explain in basically the easiest, most friendly, most understandable way that's not like too intimidating.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so
Oh.
I would say that if any skill I've kind of picked up better is actually teaching others.
I can see
I,
that. I can see that.
yeah.
Oh, that's a very wholesome thing. I'm going to give two examples because they sort of relate to two different things and they kind of take the same prompt in two different directions. Um, and the first one is kind of similar to yours. Something I learned to do in D&D is like public speaking because I was never really good at public speaking beforehand. I was always the very shy kid. But then after playing D&D enough and having an audience who I was
Hmm.
comfortable with because they're all my friends, eventually people heard that I DM'd and wanted to join in. These were like strangers, but I still had my other friends with me, so they were like friends of friends. So like it slowly started to expand, and eventually I was like, yeah, I can talk in front of strangers now. So that's one skill, and I'm very happy with it. The second skill is something that I learned not because of D&D, but for D&D. I played a character who spoke French, and so I started researching how French accent was spoken, and it got to the point where a French student asked me if I could speak his language. I'm like, no. I was like, but you have the accent. It's like, oh, it's like, thank you. I don't.
Francois de Franck.
Francis Dufranc. Yes. I don't know if my French accent is any good anymore because I haven't used it in a long time. But it's like
Yeah.
when people try to exaggerate accents, I find that like they slow down. It's like, ho ho ho, it is me, Mister Frenchman. So they like speak stilted. But what I found is if you listen to a lot of French people speak, they actually are pretty fluent in English. So they don't go like, oh, what is this word you speak of? They go, oh, what is this word you speak of? It is very quick. It is very simple. They are very comfortable speaking the English language. They just have a different accent. That's all. So it's like it's more natural, it flows better, and that's something I sort of learnt when I researched French accents and French-born people who learned English or that sort of thing. So like people, if you're going to do an accent, my tip is look up on YouTube people speaking in that accent and stuff, but don't go for people who do impressions of people who speak it. Find native-born people speaking, and you'll get a more accurate, more looser, natural way of speaking that just happened to have a bit of spice to it, I say. Um, Sai, can you remind me where we're up to? I believe we're in
We are
room
at
8?
yeah, we are at room 8 after just filling 7 with various treasures.
Mm. So,
Now,
hmm
we've been taking some time. I want to jump right into it. I feel like 7 being a treasure room,
hmm
we have bad guys on one side, we should have bad guys on the other.
Oh, absolutely.
But
You don't want, yeah. Oh, but.
but I think what could be cool
hmm
is that this room is initially seemingly unguarded.
Oh, you want to make it like an ambush zone, like number 3 again?
Sort of. So what I was thinking is, do you know like Glyph of Warding?
Yeah, vaguely. If I remember correctly, Glyph of Warding, you can store a spell in it, and like it activates when
Yeah,
certain like things happen. So it's
that,
essentially
that
a minefield, or could be a
yeah,
minefield.
yeah, that kind of situation. Basically, what I want is basically a trap where the idea is like someone has basically put like a little glyph, a little rune somewhere in this room
hmm
that detects when someone gets close enough, and then boom, spawns in a powerful devil.
Oh, so it's an actual summon spell, and specifically
Yeah,
then.
yeah. Basically, it's a like because I feel like we've started to show the devils here and there,
hmm
but we've got the bandits.
We
We
don't
want
have
to
a
show the
strong
devil side of it.
presence yet.
Yeah. So I want to start building up the presence of both the bandits and the devils.
Okay.
And I feel like having like a rune that just summons like just one powerful devil. In
Hmm.
this case, I would recommend like the barbed devil CR5
Hmm.
to just like as a sort of like a security for say the bandits that have set it up
I'm
or
just gonna.
the chain devil.
I am gonna point out that the Glyph of Warding is a 3rd level spell.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be the glyph of warding, but I was using it as reference, basically a something. It could be like a tag, a rock, or whatever. But
Sure.
the idea is someone gets close to it, boom, barbed devil summoned to attack and or protect the area.
Mm. Um, I do actually have another idea.
Mm-hmm.
I do want the Glyph of Warding there, and like the trap and stuff. So, um, but to add a bit more flavor, because I realize we don't really have too much of what I'm about to say. Let me just double check, just in case I'm wrong. So, Area 1 has a statue in the corner, stone carving scepter. Move the room. Basically, it's a control room, essentially. Number 2, it is a trap room, door slams shut. Number 3, bunch of ruins, oozes. Number 4, ruined statues. 5, more rubble. 6, cages, bandits. 7, treasure room. Okay, yep. So, number 8, I want to say, um, what do we call the? I'm trying to remember what we call those little golems. So
Salvage.
yeah, but I want to make a military version of them for guarding and stuff like that.
Well, I was gonna say if you're gonna do any of that, have a look at like room 16,
Oh,
just one south.
oh, I see it. No, okay, that's beautiful. But what I was thinking of in room number 8, we have a bunch
Mm-hmm.
of damaged and destroyed ones. So something clue in the players that something came in
Oh.
through here, and then
Okay. Yep. Cool.
you see what I'm getting at now, right?
Yep. Yep.
So, do we have any like tokens or like things of like wrecked machines parts or something like that, or even just we can put in Warforged and then say their health is 0, and then scatter them around the place if we want to be like lazy about it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, we don't not currently have a token for the salvage golem
Hmm. Um,
or anything like that. So,
just gonna see if I have like a what's that suit of armor that walks around again? What's that called?
well, there's the animated armor and the helmed horror.
Animated armor. Okay. Oh, hang on. I think I found something that would work. There we go. So it's just a knight. You can't see its face, so
Well, I also have animated armor tokens as well
you do.
because of Roll20 just having some by default. So there's one, and there's the other. If yeah, so there's
Oh.
2 tokens.
Oh, I like the red one. Looks more intimidating.
He does.
So, all right, we'll copy and paste that and put them all at 0 health and such like that. Uh, except for one, we can have that at like 1 hit point. But first things first.
Mhm.
Sorry about that.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna copy and paste this guy a few times, and we'll just scatter them around the room. And you know what? We're gonna have this one over here with 1 hit point, and then we're just gonna give him all the status effects essentially. We don't even need to explain what they are. We just put everything that looks bad on them.
Oh, I could imagine you enter the room and it like activates for a couple of seconds,
Like it,
jitters for a bit,
like it
and then
loudly jitters or something like that.
yeah.
Like, okay, yep. Okay, so upon entering this water-logged room, the sound of screeching metal is heard as a metallic contraption jerks awake, only to collapse, to immediately collapse. The machine man is clearly no threat, and upon a second glance, the room is filled with its I don't want to say slain, destroyed,
Destroyed. Yep.
dismantled,
Also
dismantled
works well.
brethren.
Mm.
Brethren. Um, it's dismantled brethren. There we go. Alright, so there is a glyph of warning in this room. If the players try to approach the damaged... What do we call these guys? Because they're not salvage titans. That I think we wanted to call them something else. Oh, actually, Warforged Titan. Because I think we were going to give them different stats or something. Or was this in the table? I think this might have been in
Uh,
the table. Because we did
'Cause
have like
we
Warforged type things, didn't we?
yeah we made the salvage golem, which is a basically just it is a warforged.
Ah, okay. So we don't have anything specifically built for defense yet. Um, that's annoying.
'Cause where do we use the salvage golem?
Oh, you know what? Okay, these are called treasure guardians. Okay, treasure guardian. Okay, if the players try to approach the treasure guardian in any way, it will make a high-pitched whining sound before being enveloped in a pillar of flame, only to be replaced by a devil. Was it devil or demon we're going for?
Devil.
By a devil. Okay. And I will make a
Well,
perception.
do
Yeah.
we want to just use the animated armor for our treasure guardian?
Yeah.
Then I'll just rename it to Treasure Guardian.
Yep. Use the stats for animated armor. What's the C? You know what? I have.
They are challenge rating 1.
Okay, they're easy enough then. Okay. Because I do want to throw some Treasure Guardians around somewhere in this place that the players have to fight and such like that.
Yeah. They just have a slam attack, but if you want to give them an actual weapon.
Oh yeah. Actually, I do want to make a perception check. Oh no, investigation. Investigation DC. Let's say 14. These Treasure Guardians were destroyed by flame. And what's the Chain Devil's damage type when they use their chain?
When a Chain Devil.
That's the thing that's the boss, right? That we were planning to have.
Yeah, the boss is a Chain Devil. Yeah, that's what we were planning to do. Give me a couple of secs.
I'm going through my player's handbook and I'm like, hang on, these are where the demons are. Where are the devils?
No, just slightly down.
Oh, here we go. Bone Devil.
Yeah.
Chain Devil.
Chain Devil. They normally do slashing damage.
Okay. These Treasure Guardians were destroyed by flame. Do they do fire damage by any chance?
The Chain Devil traditionally does not. But that's not to say that our special one can't.
Okay. Have to make a note of that. Have to highlight that. Flame and...
Oh, actually, yeah, the 2024, the newer version of the Chain Devil, does actually have fire damage.
Okay, alright.
So, perfect.
These Treasure Guardians were destroyed by flame and... Wait. By something that left burn marks and... savage gashes, tears and gashes across their armor. There we go. I'm just gonna quickly make a comment here, and I don't know, Chain Devil. There we go.
Yeah.
And comment. And that'll be the investigation roll. Okay, so if they approach the damaged Treasure Guardian, they can get a perception DC. What would the perception for finding this glyph of warding be, would you say?
They're normally small.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if glyph of warding already has its own thing for being detected. Let's have a look. A glyph is nearly invisible and requires an intelligence investigation check against your spell save DC.
Oh, it's not perception, it's investigation.
Investigation.
Okay, investigation. So
usually I allow perception at a higher DC.
Okay. No, you know what? I'm happy to put that in as well then.
Yep. And if we're looking at saving throws, the Chain Devil, if we're assuming he's the one who did it, his saving throws are DC 15.
Okay, we'll say DC 15 for investigation. And then perception will just say 18.
Yep.
See investigation. And they find players can identify the glyph of warding before it is triggered. Glyph. Oh, actually, perception that can be made. Okay, no, never mind. So let me just see what DC. So you were thinking challenge rating 5, weren't you?
Yeah, there is the Barbed Devil, which is like a challenge rating 5. And I think is like a good, it's a strong devil. It's the strongest one that the party would have met by now, but it's nowhere near as strong as, say, the Chain. and makes for a good like little sort of like easy enough mini boss for the party.
I'm just looking at it now. The magic resistances would be really painful to, well, any.
Spellcasters, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
to be fair, he's going to be tough no matter what.
Mm. He's just a
But that,
solid. He's just a
yeah,
solid fight. Jeez.
yeah. Now, do note that this room has to be entered to get to room 12.
Mm.
So him being an actual like tricky fight by himself, 100% checks out.
Yeah, but they don't necessarily have to approach him specifically because
No,
if the players avoid him, um, unless we want to put the damaged treasure uh, treasure guardians somewhere like in the way of a door or something like that.
yeah,
You know what? Actually, yeah, let's do that. Let's put them in the way of like the
the vault.
door, the vault door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yep,
the players will have to fight him if they want to get into the vault or if as they're leaving the vault. Um,
cool. And
okay.
let's just put this guy onto the GM layer. So yeah,
Okay, so I'm going to
'cause, like,
change the flavor of this. Upon entering this waterlogged room, the sound of a screeching bell is heard as a treasure uh, treasure guardian jerks awake, only to immediately not collapse, immediately slump against a vault door. If players are coming from the vault, it instead topples inwards and the glyph of warding activates immediately. Warding
ooh, I like that. That's also fun.
Lee activates. And I'm okay with this because if they're coming from the vault, it's kind of like implied that they've rested.
Mm-hmm. Or had the chance to rest at least.
Yeah, exactly. And there's no way for them to tell what's on the other side of the vault door, so
Mm-hmm.
it is kind of an unfair, like, yep, there's no way you could have known this was going to happen, and it's just an instant activate trap, because you can't really disable it, per se.
Yep.
Alrighty. But otherwise, yes. And anyway, it makes a high pitched whining sound before being enveloped in a pillar of flame, only to be replaced by a barbed devil. A pillar of flame
Cool.
that smells of sulfur. Okay, there we go. So that's
Cool.
room 8 done.
Nice and simple.
Okay, room 9. What's room 5 specifically? I'm just going to quickly refresh my
The-
memory.
room 5 is the other entrance that's blocked off with
The
rubble.
rubbles. Okay. So I just want to double check and like categorize all the rooms quickly. So room number 1
Yep.
is, let's see, a utility room for all intents and purposes. It doesn't have
Yep.
loot in it. It doesn't have any monsters in it or anything to fight. It is
Nope.
just utility for the whole dungeon. So I'm gonna
Yeah, it's a room that deactivates traps.
yeah. So I wanna start categorizing these rooms with circles. So
Yep.
this one is green. Number 2, what is
Trap.
number
Spike
2?
trap.
Number 2 is a spike trap, so we'll make that blue.
Yep.
Number 3 is a fight, so we'll make
Yep.
that red.
Mm-hmm.
What's number 4? Is that just a lore room or treasure room, essentially?
4 is technically there's like treasure in the coral mace.
Okay. We'll call that a loot room then, for intents and purposes. And obviously,
I'd treat that as utility in
utility.
terms of classification.
Okay. We can give multiple categories to the same room. So there we go. Number 5 is just utility again, I believe. All right, and 6 is a fight, so that's
But
another red. I just want to make sure that like we don't have too much of one color or not enough of others.
yeah,
Besides
I'm
you,
fine.
yeah. Besides utility, I also want to have like safe room. So 7 counts as a loot room and a safe room as well.
Hmm.
There we go. And number 8, of course, is a fight.
Fine.
More often than not, like it's an
I,
optional fight.
I would not consider it a trap because the traps are technically disabled by one, and this is definitely not disabled by one.
Mm-mm-mm. Okay, so far out of the 8 areas, we have 3 fights, 2 loot rooms, and I kind of want to keep the loot lowish.
Yep.
Uh, 3 utility rooms, which is good, and a single trap room. So that tells me we're due for a trap room.
Yeah. Like we are due for a trap room, but part of me is like 13 looks like a really good trap room.
Okay, okay. You know what? I'll put the. You know what? Let's just put the circles down in that case. What do you think 9 should be? Another utility room? Because I don't. Or do you want to make it a filler room? And even like we could put a marker for filler.
Um, I think it like we should have a couple of rooms that are just nothing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
There's plenty of rooms. I think 9 being just a purely filler room is a room that exists for like world building.
Okay.
Like maybe there's like it's got like murals or something.
Oh yeah, because like it's next to the entrance. So
Yeah,
okay, okay. So number 9. Um, and you know what? We'll let players do history checks if they really want. So number
yeah.
9. Uh, while most of the artwork and treasure, like artwork in this, is this a castle or a fortress? I forgot. Palace.
We refer to it as a palace.
Okay, in this palace have been damaged or looted. The murals in this room are in relatively good condition and show a variety of differently dressed uh, figures.
Dwarves.
I'm gonna say figures,
Okay.
and there's a reason for that, flavor wise.
Hmm.
So history, let's say DC. I'm gonna have different DCs. DC 12. Um,
I think we should start founding like mural of the founding of uh of the city.
ooh, uh, the largest, most prominent mural shows the founding of the city of Kraken's Pearl. And okay, displays bleh, and displays many dwarves working together to construct it. Actually, okay, wait, hang on. Based on context clues, and I want this to be the hardest one. The largest, okay, and I'll make this DC 15. Figures. Alright, and this is outside of history check. The largest mural depicts a city surrounded by many differently dressed dwarves, all holding hammers of different makes.
As if various dwarvish clans all united.
Yeah, the hammers and the way they are dressed represent different dwarven clans, all of which no longer exist. And then I'm going to make an easier one because it's actually, make DC 16. Okay, so, and the second one, history DC 12. There are murals of several other, let's see, okay. Besides the main mural, there are many smaller displays of variously dressed humanoids. And then DC 12 is like, there are murals of several other non-dwarves carved here. Some are humans and elves. The way they are carved implies respect on some level, approaching friendly trade partners. Some of these symbols still exist today.
Cool.
Okay. So, murals of several other non-dwarves carved here. Some are humans and elves. The way they are carved implies respect on some level, approaching friendly trade partners. Implying friendly trade partners. Okay. It's like, oh, here's the, so like, in character, dwarves could call it the Hall of Trade, or like the Hall of Partners, or something like that. It's like, this is where we pay homage to, like, everyone who
friendly
helped,
nations.
who made this city great and such like that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
you know what? I think that's all we actually need for this room. Nice, simple room. Nice little bit of world building. Not much. And I mean, the library already had another mural of Kraken's Pearls kind of fall as well, so...
hang on.
We don't need
Before
another.
I forget, I am actually going to put up, like, what do you call it? All the different colors over here to make a little legend, just so we don't forget what they actually mean and stuff like that. I'm going to have to reposition everything in a second. Oh, this is annoying. I wish I was... Okay, red, and then we had yellow. And then we had cyan, which is going to be the rarest of the lot. But anyways, so... Okay, I'm just going to zoom in for a second. Oh, I accidentally made a blue circle over there. Did not mean to. All right, and we can just add text. So we can make it 56. That's perfect. Bold. So rest site. What did we determine yellow was?
Treasure or loot.
Loot room. Yep. What was green?
Green is utility.
Utility. White is filler.
Filler.
Blue, I believe, is trap.
Trap.
And red is encounter.
Combat. Yep.
Okay, so we might add other room types later on, but these are the main ones for now.
Yep, I think that's that's a good, solid list.
Okay, and that just reminds us what they mean, because I will forget.
Yep. Anyway, so that's 9 done, which means our next room is 10.
Okay, let's see, what's in 10? Oh, it's a long room with a bunch of rubble, so it's leading up to the utility room up there. You know what?
I feel like this room needs potentially protection of some kind.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing, because if it is, it's already being protected by, like, the crushing room in number 2. So it needs... I'm thinking trap room myself.
Yeah. I feel like this is one of those ones which has, like, the long, like, the dart wall,
Mm.
or like some sort of wall based trap, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a wall-based trap. Um, oh, you know what? I've just thought. Um, okay, I'd like to think room 10 and 11 are connected somehow, but we'll get to that in a moment. Um, okay, so room 10. Room 10. Okay, it's got a little statue. What used to look like a banquet hall is now a rubble filled mess. Okay, yeah, because I'm looking at that wooden piece, and that could have been a chair, and these could have been like tables.
Yeah.
Yes, that used to be stone tables, and the splintered remains of a single chair. It's now a filled mess that used to be stone and this and floating along is the splattered remains of a single chair. All right, so how do we do traps? It's perception, or I'm just trying to go over how we
It's
do.
usually investigation to find a trap easier, or perception at a slight disadvantage.
Mm-mm.
Um,
So I'm not sure about doing specifically dart traps specifically, but yeah, some sort of
no,
projectile from the sides of the walls or something.
I was thinking, Joe, would be really cool,
No,
like the standard fire traps,
yeah, huh?
but now that it's flooded, people can actually try to swim underneath to get protection.
Yeah. Okay. 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 Um. Oh, I just realized what we could totally do. Okay. 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 And you know what? I'm even gonna put the flavor in is that it wasn't not originally supposed to be a trap room. If people try to investigate and figure out what's going on, so
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put blue in here for now. Blue, and you'll see what I'm gonna get at soon. Okay,
I'm looking forward to seeing what you cook up.
the western side of the room can. Okay, wait. So the western side of the room uh, has hidden pressure plates um, spaced out evenly, uh, where roughly where the guests, what do you call it? Diners, the diners' feet would have been across the long table. Um, if pressed, a gout of flame will cover the eastern, the corresponding eastern side of the wall. So can you see what's going on here?
It's like a way to cook food while you sit.
Exactly. So you sit down at the table, you stick out, you like hold out like some raw meat, you press down on the pressure plate, gout of flame comes out and cooks your meat.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Okay. However, due to the damage in the walls, any safeguard that would limit the flame, the gout of flame, has been moved, and the area of damage has now. Wait. And the range of the flame now reaches the length, not length, the width
The width of the room.
of the room.
Yeah.
There we go. So we'll just put like on the GM layer, I suppose we can put like
Yep.
gray slabs or something like that. Tablet, and we just.
Well, you could just do something really simple.
Oh.
Which is on the GM layer. Just do like. Oh, that's a drawing. I want a rectangle, and just be like that.
Oh, yeah, okay, that works.
Maybe move it down slightly, like here.
Okay, so
In that case, do we want to note something special about like this section here where the rubble's down? Do we want to say that there's just like a constant like occasional spurts of fire from like here?
oh, not even a spurt of fire. Oh,
Constant gush.
you know what? I'm gonna make this even more dangerous. Not even how would you damage the walls. I'm not gonna do that. Okay, I'm gonna change this a bit. Alright. Okay, splatter remains of the hidden chair. And I'm gonna make perception check now. Perception DC, let's say 14. There is a strange smell in the air and a high-pitched whistle that you otherwise would have missed. And then you can
so it's run out of like it's not lit anymore, but it's just constantly leaking gas.
Yes. So the pressure plates are still there. So investigation would tell you what's going on. So investigation DC, let's say 15, you'd say, would reveal the pressure plates?
Yeah.
Okay. The western side of the room has hidden pressure plates spaced out evenly, roughly where the tail. The eastern side has tastefully hidden barbecue. What do you call them? Barbecue vents. Let's just call them vents. Designed to roast anything in front of them. There we go. So we'll just say if players step on a pressure plate, light a torch, or bring in any kind of naked flame into the room, it explodes.
The room just goes up.
Exactly.
Yep.
So it's not even like an intentional trap, but we classify it as one for this purpose. So it would deal. How much damage do you think an explosion where the entire room is just filled with like gas?
I mean, immediately I think of fireball, right?
Okay, fireball. Fireball sounds good.
Which is 8d6.
All right.
At a level 4 party, that hurts a lot.
86 damage.
I think maybe reduce it to 6d6.
Still damage.
We want our party to potentially be able to survive this.
Okay. Dexterity DC. What would the DC be? Would you say?
I would say DC 15.
15.
With the dodge is basically realizing what's happening and diving into the water.
All right, DC 50, but the water still like boils essentially, so it's still.
Well, yeah, you still take half damage, but it's how you dodge the entire room just being on fire.
Players are at the edge of the room. They may roll at advantage. There we go. So technically a trap room for all intents and purposes, but like not a tradition, like an unintended trap room.
Yeah, and I would still allow the lever that turns off the trap to turn this off,
Mm.
because it would be a whole like, okay, all traps off, all guests get the hell out. It'd just be like, yeah, just turn everything off.
Yeah. Room 11.
So what's your plan here?
Okay, so I think we could add a few more things here. Let me just see if barrel. I hope I spelt it right. Yeah, close enough. Here we go. This is where the gas comes from. Layer, map layer. Is this the map layer? Hang on. Nope. Uh-oh. You there, Si?
Yes, that is the map layer because you moved the map.
Yep. Alrighty. There we go. Okay. Alright,
I'm just waiting to see what the hell, like, what it is that you're planning.
Okay.
I want to know what's hidden in that brain of yours.
Alright, so number 11. The room, like many of the rooms before it, is a waterlogged mess. The only thing that seems dry are a series of barrels installed on the western walls. Okay. So, investigation, DC 14. These are gas barrels. They're okay. So investigation DC. These are gas barrels. I also mention they all have valves on them. Okay. Players can choose. Okay, the only thing that drives here is that barrels installed in the western walls. Players can choose to shut off the valves in these barrels, which would shut off the accidental trap in room 10. There we go.
Yep, cool. And then just make this room one of the little filler rooms, or technically utility.
Yeah, utility, I'd say. So that'll be green, I believe.
Yep, cool. Just put a green down.
Excellent. We'll also give them one piece of loot. One of the barrels hasn't been installed. You know what? Nah, I don't want to give the players that. Nah, don't worry about it.
Giving the players high explosives always sounds fun, and then you realize they don't have to use it now, and now they just have the potential of high explosives in every situation for the rest of the campaign.
Okay, I'll also mention as a description, the barrels can't be removed.
They've long rusted into place.
They've long rusted into place. If players try to remove them forcibly, then it will destroy. Then it will explode and destroy all barrels in the room.
And it would basically do the 66 damage again.
This disables the trap in room 10.
Yep, and just copy and paste the 66.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Alright, there we go.
Cool.
So yes, it is essentially a, as you say, a utility room for all intents and purposes. Oh, that's so dumb and I love it.
Yep.
Okay.
So,
Room number 12 is the
next.
very special room, isn't it?
Yep, because this is the room that you need to take to get up to the next floor.
Okay, and you can only enter it from room 14. So, okay, I'm gonna say the room looks remarkably dry. The room is Okay, wait, actually, no. Despite the puddles, the room is remarkably dry and more remarkably dry. In fact, the ever-present humidity that the adventurers have gotten used to is now absent.
Oh.
It's like, what the heck is going on here? Where's the humidity, right? So those are statues, obviously.
They are statues.
Okay.
They were intended to play the role of statue, but that does not mean that they can stop playing those roles.
I'm okay with them just being statues, but I'd like them to be like
Uh,
important statues, if nothing
yeah,
else. So like,
I love the idea of each one of them is styled like a guard facing and protecting the way to the stairs.
There are six statues. Six statues. Would they all be looking different, or do you think they should all look uniform?
I love the idea of like the uniform look, but maybe each one has a different weapon.
There are six statues carved to look as if carved to appear as wearing the same style of heavy plate mail. However, each one holds a different weapon. So I don't know how much detail we need here, but I'm gonna put it in anyways. So let's see, there's six: longsword / shield, great axe, great hammer. Is that what it's called? Great hammer or warhammer?
Maul
Yep.
is the biggest hammer.
Maul, dual hand axe. What other things?
War pick.
War pick. And what's the final thing that dwarves would have? Oh, actually, you know what? Let's change it up a bit. Arbalest.
Halberd? Or
Oh,
yeah, cross.
you know what? Halberd is good actually.
Yeah.
Melee weapons all up in here.
Yeah.
All right. And you know what? We can have history check. History DC, let's say 14. Traditionally, dwarven statues in these areas would display monarchs or previous rulers. The fact that these ones show soldiers with no identifying features beyond their weapons is odd.
Don't have to say why, but just like note it.
dwarves roll on advantage for this check. Just a little thing there.
Mm-hmm. So, the room after this, which we haven't shown yet, is the Golden Dome. And we've got plans for the Golden Dome already. That's going to be a nice rest area.
Mm-mm.
Which suggests to me that this should be a huge, awesome fight. Not the boss, but something big.
So, like, you thinking like bandits, or like, do you think like the final like guardians or something like that, or do you think
Yeah.
it's going to be a three-way fight?
Three-way fight could be cool. Because, like, one of the plans we had, which we haven't quite dealt with, we haven't quite set up just yet, is the idea of the sort of the four bandit adventuring groups. Well, the four bandit groups, right?
So we had, I know who you're talking about, but I can't think of their names off the top of my head.
The notable bandits are Giovanni, Sasha, Wolf, and Verdos.
Do we want to introduce them? Do we really want to put them in now though? Because like I feel level 4 is a bit early.
Well, no. I don't want to put them particularly here now because Giovanni hasn't been discovered to be a threat yet. And it's like we have fought Sasha, and she may or may not have run away. She might have been defeated early on, and should be replaced with just like a regular bandit wizard.
You know what? I actually like the idea of Sasha being here, and she could be the one who has put the glyph in room number 8, essentially.
I mean, that would check out. Maybe give her a slightly better stat block at this point as well.
Yeah. So, I wish there was a way to copy paste Sasha's thing.
There is.
Oh, could you please do that? And we'll just say, challenge rating like 6 version or something, or challenge rating 5 version.
Cool. So Sasha Bennett, CR 6.
Yeah. So she's going to be the hardest thing that the players have faced since.
Yep.
And I'm just going to make a note of it in the thing. Before the stairs stands Sasha, the burning ember, and 2 bandit guards.
Yeah. Also note that if the party did kill Sasha in their first encounter, it is a just like another powerful bandit wizard instead. Just like because the players could have killed Sasha, or do we want to say that even if they killed Sasha, her soul would have gone to the devils, and the devils just brought it back?
Oh yeah, you know what? Yes, if Sasha was killed before this, then reduce her. How many spells would Sasha have at this level?
So that depends. If we want to say that she's able to cast Cliff of Warding, that means that she's at least level 5 as a wizard, and she will have, well, plenty of spell slots. 4 level 1s, 3 level 2s, 2 level 3s. And theoretically, we want to make her even stronger than that, potentially.
You know what? If Sasha was killed before this, then use the Bandit Reborn rule. Okay. So I'm just going to insert a little table on the side. So insert table on the side.
Oh.
So this could be just a universal thing we can use for all the bandits, for example.
Yep. I 100% feel like we should tieflingify them. And or Cambion them.
So Bandit Reborn. Okay. Every time one of the the named bandits are killed, they are resurrected by their devil masters at great cost. So, yeah, so basically cambify them or something like that. So I don't want to make it so that the players are punished for, beating the bandits.
No.
But at the same time, I want to give them like a secret boss vibe. Like, oh, you've killed them 5 times. It triggers this sort of thing. So I want them weaker,
yeah.
weaker, and then eventually stronger.
Yeah. So, yeah, because I like the idea of like slowly giving them like tiefling-like features, like resistance to fire potentially.
So, and but I also want to make them weaker in one shot. It's like,
well,
so based
I mean,
on
first things first. I believe traditionally, the devils have that magic resistance, like or like physical resistance stuff. But I believe silver gets through it.
So
Give me a sec to have a look at some of the strong devils. Bone devil. Yeah, bludgeoning. Resistance to non-magical attacks that aren't silvered. So what if we give them all like vulnerabilities to silver automatically from the start?
Okay, all right. Okay, so from the start, so this is the part where they don't actually gain anything good. So like,
Yep.
So they gain horns and vulnerability to silvered weapons.
So yeah, the mage isn't going to get any particular advantages against him for the time being, but anyone who is swinging around a weapon at all, and I believe we do give out a silvered weapon at some point too. So
we do.
Yeah, the silvered rapier from the Goblin Hideout. Yeah, that rapier. If they find out about the whole resurrecting bandit thing, that's going to do some good stuff.
Okay, so number 2, skin becomes red and gain resistance to fire. 3.
We don't know. We shouldn't set the end limit because we don't know how many times we might potentially have them killed. So I don't think set a hard limit now. I think this is our second encounter. Let's just start with the one and maybe a second. Yeah,
okay. She can die twice. Okay. All right. So Sasha is here, and this is like the first time the players will be coming to face her again, like the same bandit twice, essentially.
Yep. Though she is going to be stronger. Although it's also been a while since we've started this.
What?
We want to potentially.
Oh yes, I almost forgot. So because she's cast Glyph of Warding, let me just check. So she's got a level 2 spell and 2 level 3 spells. We'll just say that she's used and 2 vanguards. Yep. Note: Sasha has cast a level 3 spell in room. Which room is it again? 8.
Yep.
In room 8, leaving it expended. There we go. So that debuffs her slightly, but in a very flavorful way. Um,
Hmm.
you know what? I think that's enough time for now. I think we can deal with Sasha next time.
Yeah, we can flesh her out next time. Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm. So let's double check what we've gone through. We made number 8 where the Bob Devil was. We made a fluff room. We've made the the dining room and like where the gas canisters were. And now we're on to room 12. All right.
Yep.
I'm Freebie Wits. And I'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff. Bye bye.
Ciao.